Hello guys, welcome back to Confessions with Kingkay. Please don't forget to comment, like and subscribe. Today we got a confession from one of our followers on Facebook. If you want to share your story, please don't hesitate to share with us. Allow me to read this confession from one of our anonymous. The story reads like this. This is the story of a young successful man called Jabu. He was a wealthy black bachelor man and was so handsome. Everything was going well in his life until he decided to buy a house on the beach. Waking up to see the beach in his backyard has always been his dream. Jabu got a great house agent that knew his business. The house agent got him a perfect, beautiful house that was fully finished. He couldn't wait to move in his new home, so he finally paid off the house and wanted to move in immediately. Later on, he moved in and decided to call and invite his friends and other few people for the housewarming party. 2 days later was the day of the party. So he woke up and started preparing for his visitors, only to find out that his sound system was broken. He couldn't go buy it, so he decided to hire a DJ for the party. The DJ brought his sound system and everything was set. It was about to get down. Later on, people started coming to the party. It was nice. The music was plugged at the house backyard, which was at the beach. Everyone was having fun. Jabu enjoyed himself the most as he was happy for his new home. The music was too loud that it caught a mermaid in Nkosazana's attention. She was so curious of who was making that kind of noise. And what kind of person is that? She knows how crazy people can be, and she dreamed of having a human friend, which was forbidden. Where she comes from, a human contact was a taboo. She envied human life so much. She even enjoyed watching daily human activities. Nkosazana finally found the place the noise was coming from. She was so excited to see people having fun, as some were dancing, playing games, and drinking. She saw Jabu and her heart skipped, as she has never saw such a handsome human like Jabu in her life. The party was soon over. That's when Jabu's life started being a mess. After the party, everyone left. Jabu was so drunk, so he slept off and had a very bad dream. He dreamed seeing himself trapped in a dark place, screaming and asking for help, but no one came. As he woke up in the next morning, he was very worried about the dream, but he couldn't do anything about it, as he was not a believer of God or tradition. So he eventually brushed it off and out of his mind and left to his office. On the other side, the mermaid was head over heels in love with Jabu. She was thinking about him since she saw him. She was planning on how she would make contact with Jabu without other mermaids knowing, and how she would do it without showing Jabu her true nature. She couldn't think of anything and decided to use the mermaid way to be with Jabu. But she'll be the only one that knows. Jabu won't be aware or know anything. Jabu came back from work and did his usual activities in the house. After gym, he went to take a shower and cooked his dinner. He loved cooking. The mermaid was watching him all the time, and that made her fall deeply in love with him. Later, Jabu went to bed as usual, and the mermaid took human form in a spiritual way to go inside Jabu's house and be close to him. Hey, snake package Vincent daughter. She stared at him the whole night until it was time for her to go back in the water, as a human form magic will soon fade. She got in the water and went home. When she got there, she realized that she had made a big mistake, as she didn't have proof that she laid on a man, and she used human form magic. The human form magic is used by mermaids to go help themselves to any man when they need sex. Nkosazana was taken by Jabu's handsomeness that instead of her to do what she came for, she ended up watching. Jabu stayed indoors the whole day. He even tried to sleep during the day as he was tired. He then received a call from his company that the stock they were waiting for did not arrive. He contacted his suppliers only to find out that all Jabu's stock checked out. They promised to help find out what had happened. Jabu relaxed as he had never experienced this kind of thing in his company before. "I'll check everything when I get to the office tomorrow," he said. Later that night, he went to sleep and had the same dream again. In his dream, he was so happy. The girl came back as he had never got someone who could satisfy him like her. This time, it felt real. They made love, cuddled, and went for a second round. The next morning, he was so tired and happy. He was thinking in his mind with joy that if this is what they call spiritual life, then I'm happy with it. This is what I need in my life. As he thought and smiled, sipping his coffee. On the other hand, things became very bad at his company as they couldn't reach him that day, and he had forgotten about the problem he was supposed to go fix at work. The only thing he was thinking about was the girl from the dream and how much the girl is beautiful and can satisfy him. He sat outside his backyard, looking at the beach, thinking how his life changed since he came here. While he was smiling, he said to himself, "I just want to see my spiritual wife in person and have a chance to take care of her and spoil her as she spoils me in bed at night." And laughed alone. He was so happy. He forgot that there is more to his life than the sex dreams he has. Few days later, he got a visit from his manager as he came to tell him about the company that is collapsing. He didn't seem to care. He had all the money he needed and could start a new company with the blink of an eye. He told the manager to take care of it or they will all lose their jobs. Jabu became a useless guy and the only thing he could think of was the girl in his dream. In a few months, Jabu had lost everything. His business collapsed, his business account was frozen, his normal account was running out of cash. Things were just really bad for him. Poverty was his new reality. The only thing he was left with was the house on the beach. And because of his sudden downfall, he thought of selling his house so that he can try again. On the other side, the mermaid was glad everything was going as she planned with Jabu because she wanted to keep him for herself and have control over him. But the thought of Jabu selling the house scared her and made her think if he sells that house, she might lose him forever. So later that day, she visited Jabu in his dreams as usual after the deeds. While they were cuddling, she told Jabu to build a swimming pool inside the house so that they can be together forever. And she promised him that if he does that, she gonna bring back everything he had lost and will also give him supernatural powers. He will be well known all over the world and respected. Jabu didn't think twice about the offer from that dream. He woke up the next day and went straight to the bank to apply for a loan using his beach house as a collector if he fails to pay a loan in a year. The loan was immediately approved and he hired people to build this indoor pool at once as he couldn't wait to meet his spiritual wife for the first time. That's how he called the mermaid spiritual wife, because he didn't know it was a mermaid. He instructed builders to build the biggest pool they can, and the builders did their jobs and they finished it earlier than he thought. Within 3 weeks, they were done. After 3 weeks, the indoor pool was ready and Jabu was very happy as he had done something for his spiritual wife for the first time and couldn't wait to see her. Later in the night, when Jabu was asleep, the mermaid came to his dreams again. But this time, there was no sex. They just spoke and bonded. While bonding, the mermaid informed him about the good news he was going to receive tomorrow morning. She said to him, "Tomorrow morning when you wake up, pack up your bags. You're going on your first business trip overseas." He laughed and said to her, "But you know I lost everything, babe. I don't have any business trip to go to." She laughed and answered him. She said, "I promise to bring back everything you lost as you have made me happy. You'll always be happy as well." Jabu was indeed happy, but told the wife that the only thing that can bring me happiness is to meet you, my love. I've done as you asked me to. The mermaid promised Jabu that when he comes back from his business trip, he will find her home and she will surprise him. The next morning, Jabu woke up happy and singing, as his life had turned into a fairy tale. He bathed and prepared for his trip, and he truly received a call from his old company. They were informing him about his trip, and everything went back to normal, just like that. He was so happy. He met his workers everywhere he went. He became a blessing. He sponsored so many children's homes. He did a lot of good things, and that made him to be well known and respected as he touched a lot of lives around the world. Jabu came back from his trip and got the biggest surprise in his house as he met his wife for the first time. He was very happy to see her. The mermaid prepared the most delicious meal for Jabu, and the house was well kept. Everything was perfect. It was like everything is new. You will swear that he just bought the house. As it was his first time being in contact with his spiritual wife, he did everything he could to impress her. He wanted to spend time with her so that they can know each other more. But the mermaid disagreed as she told Jabu that he has to focus more on his business so that he won't lose everything again. Jabu was convinced and agreed with her. The mermaid said all that so that she could keep Jabu out of the house at least for 5 hours every day so that she can have her time in water as the human form cannot stay forever. Her plans to keep Jabu out of the house worked as she always made him have luck of getting business deals overseas, so he was always traveling. Jabu wasn't happy. He felt like he wasn't spending enough time with this woman, so he decided to plan a vacation for both of them to spend time together. He went ahead and booked plane tickets without telling his wife and planned to surprise her. When he got home, he showed the woman the tickets with happiness, but the woman wasn't happy as she made an excuse that it will delay him from work, and she's afraid of heights, but Jabu will take no for an answer. She ended up agreeing on one condition, and that was if they use boat to wherever they are going. Jabu immediately agreed as he only wanted to spend time with his wife. Jabu and his wife prepared for their vacation and left when they reached wherever they were going to get their boat. The wife excused herself and told Jabu that he will find her inside. She needed to use herself. Jabu entered and went to their room in the boat and waited for the wife. She had completely disappeared. The mermaid had to go and beg to be on water as she was banished from her kind and was warned never to try and enter the water again because she fell in love with the human and even went to stay with it. She was denied to use the water. She went back to the boat after she disappeared for a long time. When she got to Jabu, she was wet and pretended to be shivering as she explained how she mistakenly fell in the water. After 3 days of traveling, they finally reached their destination and began their vacation. They spent time together. They were happy even though the wife kept on disappearing for hours every day. On their last day of the vacation, they went shopping. Everything was on point. Later, they went to their transport and were ready for a long journey of going back home. The weather started changing as soon as the boat left. The mermaid knew that this trip wasn't gonna be good, but it was too late to turn back as the boat was already going. A big storm with lightning started while they were in the middle of the ocean. It was like the water was trying to sink the boat. The mermaid quickly went out, left Jabu and jumped in the ocean. She didn't swim far where she met soldiers of her kind that claimed they had came to kill her, as she never bothered to stay out of the water. The mermaid got into war with the soldiers, and that made the storm worse. Jabu woke up and started looking for the wife as the boat was shaking. He was calling her with no response. He went back to bed as the storm was more heavier. He was worried about the wife but couldn't do anything because he couldn't find her. However, the wife fought the mermaid soldiers and won the fight. And she was immediately crowned the Queen of the Sea. That's when the storm cooled down. When Jabu woke up, he found the wife next to her, and when he asked about the storm, the wife said, "There was no storm, you just had a bad dream." They both laughed and headed home. The adventure started when they arrived at home, when the wife came clean and told Jabu where she comes from. And to add on the surprise, she told Jabu that she's pregnant with 10 mermaids kids and that he needs to come with her to marine world so that they can crown him the king of the sea. Jabu was scared and surprised because the only way for him to survive was to join them, or else they will kill him so that he doesn't expose their secrets. Jabu agreed because he was even offered the option to live like a normal human being, but at 9 p.m. he must come back to the sea to serve his people. Jabu lived happily ever since he was initiated to feel normal around mermaids from the first day he started to sleep with one. The end.